Many of you guys are not telling the whole truth. You're saying that you're sleeping with lesbians, but really, you're sleeping with bisexual women, or you're sleeping with ladies who are pretending to be gay. You know, the girl that you saw dancing in the club with the other lady on the dance floor, and they were whining and grinding each other and play kissing. They got your attention, didn't they? Well, it's actually easy for a woman to fake like she's into girls. And you never know what her intention is to do that. But if it involves sleeping with a man, you might want to be careful because you just got bamboozled. She's not really a lesbian. And you may wonder, well, how can I know I'm really sleeping with a lesbian? That's a good question. But I'll give you a little bit of insight on why would a lesbian sleep with a man. My name is Giselle Wallace, lesbian life coach and author. You know, there's a lot of bisexual women who discuss how guys brag about how they slept with lesbians, and word gets around that you weren't really sleeping with a lesbian woman, you were sleeping with a bisexual woman. And this bisexual woman was very honest with you. She told you she's bisexual, but for some reason, you've just made it up in your mind that she's a lesbian. And I'm a lesbian. So I've actually spoken to guys who said initially that they slept with lesbians, but they ended up confessing that the women were actually bisexual. And if she's bisexual, that's totally fine. I mean, bisexual by definition means that a person is mentally, romantically, sexually, and physically and emotionally attracted to both genders or both sexes, male and female. We are still women who love women, even though she's not a lesbian, she's a bisexual woman, so she's still into women. Now, from my experience talking to some guys, I remember a conversation I had with a guy, and really great guy, really nice guy, and he was interested in me. And I told him that I'm gay. I said I'm a lesbian. And he was just, he was so determined to take me out on a date. So I did. I'd actually went out on a date with this man. And he was a good guy, a really nice guy. But I ended it shortly after the first date. And it was because I knew that I just wasn't connecting with him emotionally, because a lesbian is unable to emotionally and romantically connect with a man. And I wasn't able to do that. So I wasn't going to waste his time. And he mentioned to me before that he dated a lesbian. But while we were out on a date, we talked a few times on the phone. He eventually confessed to me that he never has been with a lesbian. He said that he was with a bisexual woman before. And I just said, okay, thank you for your honesty. And he was curious to know why I went on a date with him if I'm a lesbian. And honestly, I went out because I am the type of person who likes to know everything about myself. And the best way for me to get to know myself better is to take opportunities. And some opportunities were for me to actually date a man. So I've experienced dating a man before. And that's how I really learned that I am a lesbian. It's not that I didn't know that I was not a lesbian prior to dating a guy. It's just that I wanted to experience really what it was like to date a guy. So I went out and I dated a guy. But because I care about people's feelings, I ended it shortly, and I was very honest with him up front. And when he asked me why did I go on a date with him, I told him why. And I explained to him I didn't want to go out on a date because I'm gay, and because he pursued me, I decided I'll go out on a date and give him a try. But it had nothing to do with me feeling pressure, or he wasn't really even bothering me. We were just really cool. He was really a nice man, like I mentioned to you, and I enjoyed his company. But when I dated him for that brief short period of time, I knew that it wasn't going to go any further. So that's why a lesbian would date a man. But when it comes to the sexual aspect, there are lesbians who can physically have sex with a man, but it is impossible for her to emotionally connect with a man. So you probably hear, this saying that when a woman has sex with a man, she can fall in love. Well, that's a myth. It's a huge myth, because women are capable of having sex with a man and not having any type of romantic or emotional feelings, especially if she is a lesbian. So lesbians, of course, they can feel the physical sexual sensations in the act, but they're not so into it to a point to where they are going to give up women. Hate to break it to you fellas, most women who love women, who identify as lesbians, and they've experienced having sex with a woman, they will say that it does not compare. It's like apples and oranges. Like, the man is the apple, the woman is the orange. Apple is kind of a hard texture, the orange is a softer, sweeter, citrus, juicy texture. You see where I'm going with that? All right. Well, we're lesbians. We love women. And although I know there are men who do sleep with lesbians, you might want to find out why she's sleeping with you, because another reason why a woman who identifies as a lesbian would sleep with a man is because she might just be trying to fit in. She might be trying to please her family, her friends, because they may already know that she said, I'm gay, but they're still not convinced. And she still feels pressured to fit in with her family and fit in with society. So she'll give a man a chance. Sure, she'll date him, she'll even sleep with him. But ultimately, in the back of her mind, she really wants to be with a woman. Another reason why a lesbian would sleep with a man is because she is not ready to come out. There are some women, or they could be late teens, early 20s, and they still are in the closet. They know that they like women, but they're not ready to say that they are lesbians. Why are they not ready to say that they're lesbians? Because they may be curious about still trying to figure themselves out. Because there are some women who are lesbians and they haven't even been with a woman sexually yet. And she hasn't been with a man sexually either. So she's really a virgin. And she is still attracted to women. She knows that she's interested in women because being a lesbian is deeper than sexual attraction. It's emotional, it's mental, it's spiritual. So a woman who is a lesbian can fall in love with a woman without even touching her sexually. But she's not able to fall in love with a man. So even though if she decides to have sex with a man, doesn't mean she's going to fall in love with a man. And also, it does not mean that she's going to enjoy the sexual experience with a man. So if she already has experienced sex with a woman and she identifies as a lesbian and she still chooses to date a man, it's because she just wants to know herself. She's becoming more self aware and she's comfortable in her skin. That was my case. The other scenario is a woman who she's she's a lesbian. She knows she's a lesbian. She's even made it known that she's a lesbian to her family and her friends and probably even the guys. But she's still not confident enough in herself. So she's still trying to please everybody. So she kind of goes with the flow. That's where her state of mind is. And then the young lady who's probably still a virgin, or she may is not a virgin, but she's only been with a woman sexually. And she knows that she's a lesbian, but she's still in the closet. And she may end up dating a man because she can still stay in the closet and pretend like she's heterosexual because nobody knows that she's a lesbian. So, guys, there are lesbians who have ulterior motives why they would sleep with a man. So, you might want to think about why she's with you instead of getting so excited about sleeping with a lesbian. And I know some of you are just going to say, well, I just want to sleep with a lesbian. Well, if you are sleeping with a lesbian, doesn't mean that she's enjoying the experience. And why would you want a one sided relationship? It's not fulfilling. Embrace being with a woman who wants you for you and she's upfront with you about who she is and she is into you. So if you meet a bisexual woman, don't try to change it around in your mind and think that you're with a lesbian. Respect a woman's sexual orientation, respect having a relationship with a woman, and don't let your intentions only be to sleep with a woman because it really doesn't work out in the long run. And also, you're wasting your time. But that's why lesbians would sleep with a man. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. My name is Giselle Wallace, lesbian life coach and author. Like and share my content. Don't forget to subscribe. Have a wonderful day.